Hi, I'm Becca and I've been playing in the second violin section of WNO's orchestra for about 7 years now. So I'm originally from Basingstoke in Hampshire. My mum is a music teacher. My dad sings in lots of choirs, but by day was a scientist working for the MOD. And my brother just recently was made second trumpet in the Philharmonia Orchestra. I have been working for WNO for about 7 years. I joined in 2013, just after playing Lohengrin and a bit of Cunning Little Vixen and Così fan tutti, and it was the most amazing trial I've done. It was so nice to play that music, and also just with the friendliest bunch of people ever. The Orchestra of Welsh National Opera really are the nicest people you will ever meet. I had done lots of other opera work before. I worked a little bit with Covent Garden and had a lovely time, played some fab music and learnt some incredible scores. But when I came to have a little trial with WNO, which is what happens when you've done an audition and they let you through to play a bit with the orchestra before they ask you to either come and stay or maybe visit or not come back at all. They were just the friendliest group of people I think I'd ever worked with in an orchestra. Everybody said hello immediately. Everyone was like desperate to have a chat in the tea break. That's not always been my experience with other orchestras. WNO are just the nicest, and I think being in a pit definitely makes people even nicer. So the WNO pit orchestra are just the nicest of the pit orchestras, and I think being in Wales really helps too. Cardiff itself is just the best place to live. It's got the sea, it's got mountains nearby, the houses are affordable, and the people are so friendly, and there's beautiful fresh air, and everybody loves music and singing, and it's just the best place to live. My mum actually was very into yoga. I remember there was a book around when I was very small of yoga for kids. We used to do little yoga sessions when I was small. This is in the 80s, so it was quite unusual then. And then actually Mum and I both went to a yoga class together when I was in the sixth form, and it was just what I needed at that point, because I was practicing kind of 4 or 5 hours a day, and the stress that goes with being a student and studying music and working in music, you need some yoga in your life if you're doing those things. So that's where it came from, and it just resonated with me. It was a thing I needed to do. You might be wondering why I'm sitting next to some candles here. Dean's next question for me was what other occupation I might have if I was not a violinist. Now hopefully this will never happen, but I would almost definitely spend more of my time teaching yoga. So in about 2015 I was approached by some other members of WNO to just help them a bit with their stiff shoulders and things, with some of the yoga that I'd been practicing myself. I've been doing yoga since I was 16 on a regular basis. It's so helpful if you're a musician to have something like yoga in your life. You need to release all that tension, and particularly playing opera, we're sat in the pit for sometimes 3, sometimes 4, many hours at a time, just holding the violin up, doing things that are quite strenuous for the shoulders and the back and the arms. If you don't do something to help your muscles, help your posture, you will start getting injured. So yoga is my way of fixing that. And so I originally started doing some sessions of yoga with just two of the amazing other violinists in WNO, and eventually there were lots of people coming along, and I suddenly realised I was essentially teaching yoga and had no qualification, so went off to study to become a yoga teacher, and it spiralled a bit from there. I now have a cabin in my garden which can hold 6 mats, so I've been running small yoga classes for a little while now. Obviously not at the moment, so everything has changed to an online life, hasn't it? So my yoga classes are now completely online, and actually it's really nice in lots of ways. I can't see people so easily as I could if they were there, but there are people coming to my classes now from London, from all over the place, from Oxford. People are visiting that couldn't normally get to my classes, so every cloud has a silver lining. Doing yoga is probably the biggest way. I should explain that you're currently in my makeshift yoga studio. I've just taught a class just now, so that's why we have candles, and I thought you might enjoy the ambience of my home yoga studio / music room. There's the piano there, and you can see I'm all set up for my Zoom class with my clock and my music stand ready for the phone to be the second camera. Anyway, that's by the by. So my next question about how I relax, I think yoga is only one facet, and obviously it's now a little bit part of what I do as my job. We also in this house spend quite a lot of time walking. We have a 10-month-old daughter, Nell, who is I think the youngest orchestra baby. I should get that claim to fame in there for her now. So she loves going out and seeing the world, and particularly at the moment when we're all shut indoors, that opportunity to go out for a walk has been just a lifesaver. So we do a lot of walking, and I like to garden as well. Like everybody else, I have been making my own bread recently, but actually I've been doing that for years. I also like to do what everybody else does and sit in front of the TV with a glass of wine, but I like to talk about the yoga more often. So Nell and I are just out in the garden doing a bit of weeding at the moment. It's a beautiful sunny day. Are you going to say hi, Nell? Very good waving. And just over here is my yoga cabin, and you can see it just behind the giant globe artichoke plant. It's really more of a soft play centre at the moment, so I won't give you a close-up, but Nell and I have been enjoying it, haven't we, Nell? Okay, the next question is about my favourite composer. I am a big Soviet Russian composer lover, so the opportunity to play War and Peace recently, a huge production of War and Peace we did a year or so ago, was a fantastic opportunity. I really enjoyed that. Prokofiev's one of my favourites. I also love Shostakovich, and on the same vein, I kind of lump them into the same category. I am a bit of a Britten fan, so I'm putting a shout out to WNO. I really have to play some Britten opera before I retire, so please can we schedule some? Thanks. I also love Mozart and Beethoven, obviously, and you can't not love Mozart and play second violin in an opera orchestra. It's the most amazing music there is. What advice would I give to students coming into the profession now? Well, I do quite a lot of teaching. I teach at the Junior Welsh College of Music, and my top tip for everyone going into music or wanting to go into music is to really sort out your technique as early as you can. Technique is everything. If you end up working in an orchestra, particularly, the hours are long, it's hard work. It can be really tough on your body, so you need the most effective technique possible to get the music to work for you the way you want it to be in control of the way you play. But I'd also say, especially if you want to work in a band, in an orchestra, be nice to everyone. You never know who you're going to meet later on. There might be someone that you fall out with early on when you're a student who later on has some bearing on your career, and you don't want to meet them again if you've been nasty to them. So just be kind. Dean wants to know what's important in my life. Family first, of course. My daughter is quite all-encompassing. At the age of 11 months, she's hard work, but really the most important thing there is. Friends, playing music, gardening. I've written on my list of things feminism, world peace and opera, obviously. Very different question. We tour a lot with WNO. We do a lot of travel. We take our operas far and wide, but also on a more regular basis we go to all sorts of wonderful cities, but we need to take some things with us to help us on our way. I had a big think about what things are essential to me when I travel on tour. My top two, bearing in mind that I know I can get wine and I can get tea. Tea is a very, very important thing if you're a musician, and I'm not talking your boring black tea with milk. No, it's got to be a nice herbal tea, a green tea, something that will do you some good, nourish the soul. The things that I definitely need, apart from tea and wine, are my hot water bottle, because I'm always freezing. My circulation has improved since doing yoga, but I still need a hot water bottle on my feet, even in the middle of summer. And the board game Articulate, which has caused much hilarity in many a touring digs venue. You can't go wrong. If you're a bit tired after an opera and you don't fancy popping down the pub, you can just pop home with your friends and play Articulate, and everything is well with the world. Trust me. Yoga and Articulate, good philosophy. So I think the final question I have to answer today is, what makes WNO special for you? That's so easy. It's the people 100% of the time. The music's amazing. The conductors are incredible. Opera as a whole is the best art form there is. It's got everything. But at WNO, the people who are there, they really care. It's a lovely place to work. I can't think of anywhere better. It's been lovely talking to you. Stay safe and well, and I hope to see you at an opera again soon.